Hi everyone, and welcome to 2 Play Quest. Today we're going to be reviewing Deep Rock Galactic by Mood Publishing. In this game, you delve into the mines to gain the resources required. While doing so, you need to beware of the monsters that you will find. In this co-op game, based on the video game, you move around the board, rolling dice to defeat the monsters, and gaining resources. Your job is to gain the resources and make it out alive. Let's get into it. Deep Rock Galactic plays with 1 to 4 players. It takes between an hour to 2.5 hours. Complexity-wise is at a 2.74 on Board Game Geek, meaning it is quite an easy game, and it is a minimal luck kind of game. This is the setup of scenario number 1 in the campaign book. You can see your heroes on the left here, you can see several grunts here, and this is what one of the player boards looks like. You can see down here the special abilities, and there are in total 4 player boards. I will now show you a turn. So, when it is your turn, you will do the action phase, and then you will do the event phase. Starting off with the scout, which is this one here, you can do several actions in your turn. You have a total of 3 actions to do. Action number 1 we will do is moving. 2, 3. You can move up to 3 spots. While you are moving, you can uncover the question marks that you are adjacent to. These question marks are points of interest that either add flavour or sometimes, as with this objective, you need to collect certain objects. Next, you can see we are next to 3 monsters, 3 grunts. We want to attack these grunts, and we can do that with the attack action. We choose to attack with the burst fire gun. This costs 1 ammo and 1 action. So pay 1 ammo, re-roll the dice, and here you see we do 2 damage. To see how much damage and what a monster does, there's this big monster board, 2-sided. In this case, you can see here the grunt, and it has 1 HP. So, with 2 shots, he is dead. And then the second thing we will do is we will mine. So you see the token here, which says you can mine that loot bug. To do this, you roll the mining dice, and now you were successful. You can also play a throwable. Every player gets a certain grenade, in this case that's this one, and can choose to throw it. In this case, we do not wish to do so. You can also call for a resupply, overstock your secondary weapon, so that's improve that weapon there, exchange supplies with other players, assist to revive, or play a rock and stone card, which again we do not wish to do. So now it is the end of that turn phase, the action phase, because they've done 3 actions. So now it's the event phase. We will grab an event, that's one of these, from the stack up there, and this one states, place a grunt at exit 1, and then all creatures activate. So you then take a grunt from the supply, place it at exit 1, which is at the top here, and then we activate all creatures. In creature activation, you look at the board, at what they can do. Here you can see they can move 3 and have range 1. So we'll start with the 2 that are already near the players. This one moves 1, and they attack. As you can see here, a bite equals a damage. So that player gets 1 damage, which you would have down here. Then it is the next monster's turn, and you continue on. So here he does another damage. And then the last monster, as it cannot get to the player, and the other characters are safe in the drop pod. That would be the end of the scout's turn. Then it would be the next player's turn. You keep going like this until one player dies, until the objective is reached, or until the marker on the monster track goes to the end. At that point, you lose the game. If the objective is reached, you win. Deep Rock is quite an easy game to learn. If you have experienced board gamers, I would give it 10 minutes to understand the basics, especially if you already have more experience with these types of co-ops. Then 10 minutes should get you very far. For more inexperienced people, or for example some younger children, I would say give it 15 to 20 minutes if they are interested. I would suggest Deep Rock Galactic to pretty much anybody who loved the online game. It is very similar. It has the same makers. So all the lore, all the monsters, it's all very well done. It's also an easier kind of co-op game. We have played this with our nephews who are 6 and 8, and they like playing this game. So if you want something to play with some younger people that it's also still kind of interesting for the more experienced board gamers, this is also a very good game. Plus, I'm going to insert some clips of the minis in this game, because if you get the version with the minis, these minis are absolutely fantastic. They are so cool. So, also, if you're someone who loves minis, this is also definitely a kind of game for you. Deep Rock Galactic is a good game. It is a very good game for possibly younger children or trying to get people more into board games, and it's especially very good for people who love the video game, because it has all the essence of the video game. Having said that, for us, the characters are too similar, their abilities basically boil down to the same thing, the scenarios are too similar, they basically boil down to the same thing, and we don't like that repetitiveness. That is the reason it's going to be leaving our board game cupboard, because we don't play it. Having said that, it's still a good game, and if somebody were to say, hey, let's play that game, I wouldn't say no. It's just not a game that I necessarily think should be in our board game cupboard. The game plays exactly the same with 4 players as it does with less. All the characters are always played, so if you're playing with one person, that person is playing all 4 characters. So the only thing that a 4-player game actually adds is more opinions on what people should do. And that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching our review of Deep Rock Galactic. If you have any comments, feedback or suggestions, put them in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you next time on 2 Player Quest.